Secure the objective.
What's going on, guys? Dr. Envious here, prescribing you a gameplay commentary extravaganza on the map. I don't know what this is called anymore. Really? Oh, it's been a good day. Ran 2 miles today and did laid out on sauna. Anywho, we're gonna do a prison guard stories. A little slow rumble there. Let me get back on track. We're gonna do prison guard stories. Um, Before I get into that, this is a league play game, so I'll play it a little different here than I normally would. This is pretty much doing what it takes to win this match. All my league play games, if I post more, let me know how you feel. You're not going to see huge KDRs. You're not going to see, just gigantic win-losses. This is literally doing what I have to do to get the win. Playing with 4 guys, we're teamed up. This is one of our first couple matches that we had to do to get ranked. But anyways, let's get into prison guard stories. So I said there on my last video that work was kind of hellish and it sucked. Oh, and it did. We were going. We went in, and immediately I have a new guy in my segregation. We'll call it segregation room, and in mental health. And the reason he's in there is because he actually was attempting to cut off his finger because someone stole his sweats. Well, he was trying to cut off his finger, and he's already successfully cut off his pinky on one of his hands. Like, you can see the bone and everything. It's pretty cool. So he's going off, just running his mouth, and just because the night before he was talking to the guy below him through the vent about how they were gonna, set off the ranges and by cutting themselves and shit, making it to where we'd have to go in on them and whatnot. But so we had to write it down. We told Sergeant, hey, this is what he's planning on doing. He plans on doing it in during day shift and sometime after Tuesday, and etc. etc. And well, he found this out through day shift. Told him, oh, this is what they wrote down. They wrote down everything. What the fuck are you telling an offender? Like, really? Like, what the fuck are you doing? There is no reason to tell him what we know. Good job. What you're making us do is making us lose our, oh, what's it called, surprise, or, there's no reason for it. Like, what the hell was he doing? But anywho, so this goes on. We get into work the next day. He's just going off. He's like, nah, fuck you guys. You guys are some hoes. You all told on me, etc., etc. Well, that's my fucking job, alright? I'm here to make sure you stay safe and secure. Because what we have the option to do after that is literally strap him down to a garney. That's pretty much what it is. Strap him down to a garney or to a chair, which funny enough, looks like the electrical chair. If you know what that was, the big wooden chairs, leather straps, looks just like that. But yeah, so we come in the next night. He's kicking his door, doing all types of bullshit, threatening him to cut himself, and cut off his fingers and shitting in his hand and fucking throwing it against the wall and shit on the door and just doing all types of bullshit. And well, he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm gonna take this fucking blanket, because we had a blanket in front of his door so the shit couldn't come out of his room. And that way we couldn't smell as bad. It works. And so he tries to grab the blanket through the door, and it's pretty close, And so I pulled the blanket back, not touching the offender at all. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna, pull his blanket in here. And I was like, no, you're not. And then, well, they actually did. And so he starts to pull on it. And I put my foot down on the blanket and pulled it back all the way from his door. And he's like, oh, you stepped on my finger, blah, blah, blah. You broke my finger. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to have your fucking job, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. Alright, that's cool. And he just keeps running his goddamn mouth and this, and this. And he's like, I want a sergeant. Okay, that's fantastic. My sergeant's busy dealing with another guy who we'll get to in a minute. You know what? This is a good time to get to him. Other guy on the range downstairs and across the way is literally cut his nutsack open. He's nutsacking, guys. I'm warning you. This is going to get pretty crazy, so hang on. Or mute me, or just stop listening. He cut his nutsack. Alright, you ready? Nutsack getting cut. cut his nutsack open with a fingernail. Opened his nuts, pulled the actual testicles out of his body. Pulled his testicles outside of the sack, and they were flopping around. What guy in their right fucking mind does that? And this guy did. And so I go down to talk to my sergeant while this shit was going on with dumbass here, and while he was acting full of my range. I go down to talk to him, and I was like, hey, this is going on. Letting you know. He's like, Ball, come in here. I was like, nah, Sarge. He's like, nah, CO, come in here. I'm like, alright. And, you know, I can see a red pool of blood, you know, next to me, as typically just, I didn't know, I'm not going to go. And then my partner looks at me, one of my partners looks at me and goes, hey, you need to come in here, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I was like, fuck it, I'll come in here. So I come in, and, I shit you not, he literally his nuts are hanging out. I was like, oh, that's awesome, and... Yeah, so I saw a guy's nuts outside of his sack. It was pretty disgusting, and then I had dinner. I just went ahead and ate my food, said fuck it, it's whatever. I guess this will be a really good story for later on. Now it's later on. So, Sergeant's dealing with this dipshit. He ends up going to the hospital. And then, next thing you know, it's a couple hours later. Next thing you know, this dude is kicking his door like a bitch. Kicking his door. Oh, I'm so... Y'all don't want to pay attention to me, I'll throw a temper tantrum. This is what he's doing. And it's really cute when grown-ass fucking men do that. It just really just, you know, warms my fucking heart. As you can tell. But anyways, starts kicking his door, and my sergeant calls me and goes, hey, is that your range? Is that you? Yeah, it's me. I told you he needed to talk to you earlier. And he was like, alright, I'll be up there in a minute. And I explained to him the situation earlier. Explained the issue to him that if he tells the day shift bullshit information, there's a chance day shift will believe him, and I really don't want to be in an IA interview again. It's not fun. But, so, he comes down there, and my sergeant, like I've said, 6'6", 400 pounds, no joke, comes up, starts talking to him, and, literally,
back at base.
Literally, this guy starts calling him a fat bitch. And my sergeant really doesn't like to be called fat, and he is no bitch. Like, he doesn't get bitched up by people. It doesn't happen. I wouldn't either if I was that big. Fuck it. He's a monster. And so, he calls him a fat bitch. He's like, you know who you're talking to? He's like, yeah, I know who I'm talking to, blah, blah, blah. He's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, fuck you, you fat bitch. And he's like, I just want you to know, you know, you're talking to before I fucking drag your ass through this fucking door. Started to laugh because, well, there's old school Gaurd stories that we can get into sometime. But, if y'all request it. But anyways, so, this keeps going on, and he's like a fat bitch, and my sergeant's getting red in the face, and I literally thought, like, we were going to take him out of his cell just to beat him. Which, we don't beat people, but there's stories that used to happen. Just saying. And, which we didn't, of course. So, by the end of the night, he takes his mess and he goes to sleep. And I'm, like, red in the face because I was pretty pissed that this guy said he was going to sue me and have my job, this. I was pretty pissed by midnight. I eventually cooled off and, you know, cooler heads prevailed for me. But, yeah, so he takes his mess and he goes to sleep and sleeps all night long. He's like, I'm going to go on a hunger strike. And if you go on a hunger strike, you have to, you know, refuse your meals at least like 5 times in a row, and then we start to note it, and then we go on, and eventually your sergeant has to come up here and offer him food, and then captain, and, well, your lieutenant, then captain, then major, etc. He's like, and I'm going to tell him how Officer so-and-so stepped and broke on my finger, blah, 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 and I'm such a badass. Alright, look, you can go on a hunger strike, that's cool, but here's the thing, they never work. And so the next morning he wakes up, I'm like, you want your food? He's like, yeah, I want my food. Oh, okay, I thought we were going on a hunger strike. He's like, no, man. It's like, alright, you have a good day. So I gave my food, came home. That was pretty much my night the other day. I hope you all enjoyed the story. I'm out. If you have any questions, hit me up. You know how to get to me. Just leave a comment. Send me a message. I'm out. Peace. Hope you all enjoyed the gameplay. I'll flash the score at the end of the game. Just remember this is a league play. I'm out. Peace. I love you.
Lightning strike coordinates received. Inbound.
Good kill.
We've captured the enemy flag.